All right, so we're live now. My YouTube is just counting down. All right, so we're live now. Yeah, so welcome to today's webinar, and then thank you for joining us, Oluwatobi Yusuf, and then Ruth as well. This is the Girls into Tech webinar, and then today we are going to be talking about no code development. Like there've been a lot of trend lately. People building apps and web applications and things like that without experience of much experience of coding, or people developing apps with zero code and things like that. All they just do sometimes is like maybe drag and drops and utilizing other tools on several applications that are out there. This is not generating code with AI, but more or less like using already available softwares to create applications and to create those digital solutions. So right before we go into it, I would just like us to meet our guest today. Toby Yusuf is a Microsoft MVP and a no-code advocate. I don't think I can do justice to introducing him, so I would just quickly I would like you to introduce yourself, Toby. Can you tell us a bit about you, please?
All right. Thanks for having me, Toby. I'm delighted to be here and also delighted to share the stage with Ruth. Oluwatobi Yusuf. I'm fondly called Toby in the community, and some people call me MVP, and some people call me favorite MVP. So either of those would work. But I'm presently a Microsoft MVP, and MVP standing for Most Valuable Professional. I guess we'll still talk more about the MVP award during the course of our webinar. I'm also the team lead for the process engineering team at AXA Mansard. So I lead a small tech team. I call it a small tech team. I lead a small tech team where we look into the business process and we engineer things, right? And when we talk of engineering things, we look at how things are done and we look at how they can be done better, how they can be more effective and make people more productive. And this might be something where they might need an application, an automation, a it can be a chatbot, right? It can be a dashboard, right? And the team then comes up to review all of this and go on to develop that and thereby making the process more effective, making it productive. I'm also a community leader. I'm one of the leaders. I lead the Power Platform Nigerian community. I also lead a couple of other communities. I also am very active in the data community as well. Basically anything that has to do with local that you will definitely see me in it. I'm a big fan of community. Yeah, fun facts. I'm a Barcelona fan. Yeah, of Baka. And that's just the summary about who I am and yeah, what I do. Thank you very much.
You muted Toby if you're speaking.
All right, sorry, I was muted earlier. Yeah. Thank you for joining us again, Toby. And then it is interesting to know your contribution so far in the no code development community, and the things that you've been doing for yourself so far. And then yeah, I love the energy as well, Barcelona fan. Yeah, because you guys won Real Madrid the last time, so you can you can talk now. Hopefully, let's go back last long anyway. All right, but yeah, it's interesting. Me myself, I watch football, and I'm a football fan, Arsenal fan. I can speak as well because we're doing well lately. Um,
Mm.
right. So yeah, thank you for joining us again, and I think I'll just hand over to Ruth now, and then let's dive into some of the questions that we have for today, because I'm sure our viewers would like to really know what this no code development is all about, really, like building applications without coding, because you can imagine developing all of these complicated apps on the website, it requires high level of skills, of coding skills, Python, JavaScript, PHP, and all of these complicated programming languages that, me myself, yeah, I do front-end web development, and then, I still struggle with JavaScript. So, no code development, yeah, I think it is an innovation for a lot of people that that necessarily do not have that time. Time is the first thing, and then maybe also that level of expertise yet, or they are just like, they want to build something, they want to do something, they have this amazing tech idea, but actually bringing it to life is just like maybe difficult for them because they don't actually have that expertise. So yeah, so I think it would be interesting for those type of people to know what they can actually do with these not code platforms. So I would just hand over to Ruth now, and then she would walk us through some of the questions that we have for today, and just to help our audience understand what this no code development is actually all about. Ruth, over to you, Ruth.
All right, thank you very much, Toby.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Toby, and thank you very much, Oluwatobi. I'll just call you both that, so I'll try to differentiate who I'm speaking with. Um, so it's nice to have you, Oluwatobi, and when I when I was told that I will be hosting this, I had to like make some research so I know what I'm telling the people. We are glad to have you here. So without wasting so much time, we have like series of questions that I would love to ask. And the first one here is, can you tell us your journey, how you started the no code or the no code development? Can you just run us through it? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to learn. Also, myself, I want to know how you started.
Okay. So, all right, let me just go back a bit. So, my low code journey, or yeah, I would say it started around 2021. But before that, I think similar to Toby himself as well. When I was in school, so I was in 400 level. That was 2018. I was in school, and that was the first time I got interested in anything tech. A friend of mine reached out to me telling me about, oh, there's a course going on, and they were teaching some languages there, R then, and Python. So I got interested in R. I learned R for about 3 months. Then 500 level was 2019. That was my final year, and then I switched. I left R. I saw C sharp. I started learning C sharp. Well, I was just playing around. Like I was just learning the fundamentals. I didn't go deep in any of these languages. I just knew the fundamentals of these languages. Then now fast forward to NYC. That was now 2020, and that was COVID period. So COVID period, I was at home and I was looking for what to do. Right, I really didn't see anything. Well, I was looking for engineering job. Let me look at it that way, and I didn't see any engineering job. So I reached out to someone I used to know, and I told him, "Oh, I'm looking for an engineering job. Well, I'm also a bit good with some of these few languages I've learned in the past." Well, long story short, I got into that role where I got an internship position, and they brought me in because of my fundamental knowledge in C sharp as an intern. But during my period there, that was the first time, and this was 2020. Yeah, 2020 around August. This was the first time I ever had Power Platform. I didn't know anything about low code or the Power Platform and all of these other low code, no code things. That was the first time I heard about it. My line manager at the time just reached out to me and told me, "Oh, Toby, I've been hearing about this low code, no code thing. Can you just check it out?" I'm like, okay. So he didn't give me any much further to do with it. He just told me to check it out. So that was my first time hearing about it, but I didn't do any active thing with the Power Platform. Now, to 2022 March, I finished my so I finished my NYC and I was done. Then I saw an opportunity that popped up on the internet, I think on Jobberman or so, and it was a power platform or a low code. So yeah, low code intern. Yeah, it's a low code intern position, and that was how I applied. I went for an interview, And I told them, yes, I've heard about low code before. Like I said, I've not done much, but I've heard about it. So I also told them, oh, I've heard about it. And I got to the internship role. And that was the first time I knew about low code. So in low code, when you talk about low code generally, like just before I go into that, we're using Power Platform, right? So when you talk about low code is basically things that can do leveraging code, but not going in depth. So for example, I want to build a whole website, I want to build an application. Instead of me thinking of how I'm going to get a platform, build the platform, build the fundamentals of that button, build what the button looks like, build the functionality into a button, right? With low code, you have a platform, you have some things that already exist. You can just kind of drag and drop them and just do little lines of code. So in a case where you're supposed to write about maybe 10, 15 lines of code, you're writing about just 2 lines, right? And that's how low code comes in to help you. And in some cases, you don't write code at all. That's the funny thing. In some cases, you don't write code at all. So 2021 March was when I got an internship role, and that was how I started learning. So I was given some materials to learn. I started learning. I think after a month, then my HR just, not my HR, the person I was reporting to, just threw me into one project then, and I started working on that project. It was a live project for a client, and I was working on that project. We were 3 people working on the project. Within a month, I think 2 of those people resigned. So I was the only one on that project. So I had to learn faster and better. And it was a whole lot because I remember presenting to the client the first time. And because I was still new, I didn't have much idea. The client looked at my face and was telling me that I didn't understand what I was talking about. I'm like, God, I need to I need to build myself. Like, for me, I think some people would say that their self-confidence is being scattered or stuff. But for me, it challenged me. I was like, I knew it was because I was still fresh and new, right? I was still fresh and new. And the guys that resigned were the main guys on the project. I was just kind of new on the project. But I didn't take that as an excuse. I went back, I built for myself, I learned, I watched tutorial videos and just started building on myself. The next time I went back, because I went back to present, all of them stood up to give me a standing ovation, a standing ovation, and all clapped for me. I'm like, wow, so wow, that's nice, that's nice. So that's how I
That's
got into low code, and I've been doing it
that's
ever
really
since.
interesting. Oh well,
So
that's really interesting. Like it is really interesting to know that okay, just because it is no code development does not mean that you're going to be lazy. You still have to put in the hard work, and then to get the job
yeah,
done.
true.
You still have to learn few things. The only thing is that instead of you putting the stress and the effort that is actually going to take you to actually learn code. Like earlier on, you were saying you learned C sharp and R. Like, oh my God, C sharp, R. No, those are like another level of programming language that a lot of people struggle with. But to
Yeah,
have
true.
that fundamental knowledge in C sharp and R, and I think those are like one of the core programming languages that Microsoft packages are built on, if I'm correct. But yeah, so
Yeah, some
it
yeah.
is interesting to know that even though it is no code development, it is no excuse for you to be lazy. Like you still need to put in the work to get the job done. Thank you for that insight, Toby. Thank you
Thank
for that
you, thank
insight.
you, and thank you, Toby.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Oluwatobi. Probably we should give you a sitting ovation since we can't stand up, right? Yeah, thank you. That was very interesting. And can you tell us like some of the biggest advantage of learning no code or low code development? Like as an individual and as business owners, what do you think are some of the advantages? And also, do you think anybody can learn no code development or it's just for those with limited experience in tech languages?
Okay, I
Um,
think
to, Toby, sorry. Just before you answer that question, please, you can take a little bit of time to just think about it. I would like us to just acknowledge some of our audience that are watching us currently. We have people watching us from different place currently. I would assume mostly in Nigeria. So if you're watching us currently, let us know where you're watching us from. If you're watching from Lagos, from Port Harcourt, from Ghana, from Kenya, anywhere around the world where you're watching us from, let us know. Drop comments in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching us from. I can see some comments here from Akinyemi saying I. A lot of people are saying I. Akinyemi saying I. Mayo Y saying I. Thomas Kuforo, and then we have someone saying bonjour as well. Bonjour to you too, although we're in the afternoon now. Yeah, we have Emission's blog. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. Let us know where you're watching us from. Drop a comment in the comment section. If you're watching from Lagos, from Port Harcourt, from anywhere around the world where you're watching, let us know where you're watching us from. Yeah, so thank you for joining us today. So over to you again, Toby. Earlier on, Ruth was just asking, what is like the biggest advantage of no code development compared to like maybe coding and things like that.
Okay, so I think I would want to start with the second question, then go back to the first. The second was, can anyone learn, can anyone come on this, or is just people that are experienced or people that are tech savvy? I would
Yeah.
say the low code, no code, right, is for everyone and anyone, as long as it's something you're interested in. You can learn, you can build, right? And the limitation with the low code is limited. It's basically your imagination. I've seen some new guys build some amazing solutions that myself I'm like, wow, this amazing, right? This amazing. And I pick some learnings from them as well too. So it's not just for those that are tech savvy, it's not just for those that are developers or coders. In short, if you are not a developer, you are not a coder, I would say you have a bit of advantage because then your imagination is not limited to just coding and all of that. You can think outside the box and try to implement all of your thoughts right into what you're building. So it's for everyone and anyone. Now to the second question, what's the advantage of learning it? Now we know that the world has moved digital.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at our places. Let's look at let's look at those around us. Even your friends that sell, all of these materials, say a phone, gadgets, they advertise that even on their WhatsApp status, even if they don't have a website. The woman that sells opposite your house right now, she's snapping those pictures and putting it on her WhatsApp status because for now she doesn't have a website, right? The bigger stores are beginning to leverage digital innovations. A lot of them are now putting their product online, right? You can order a lot of things from the comfort of your home. A lot of things are going digital. There's literally nothing you want to get that you can't get online. Talk books, even as little as grocery store and grocery my okay stuffs. You can get them online, right? I think the other time I was going to the internet and seeing some ways you can even order for some of all these tomatoes and the rest of them, right? This is telling you that everything is going digital. And what does that mean? It means there will definitely be increase in demand, right, for all of these digital skills that is going to develop these digital solutions. So, like I said, a lot of people are using WhatsApp status because they don't have accessibility or phones to start with maybe website or all of that. But my point is everything is now moving from just physical manual to digital, digitalizing. Now people will need to now build this. For example, the applications, people need to build them. The website, people need to build them, right? And I think according to either it was the statistics I was reading them or back then, I can't remember it. I think it was Gardner. They put out the statistics on the amount of things we're going to need in the future. And it was showing that in the future, like I think 2025, or so this analytics or statistics was at 2020. So they were forecasting that in 2025, right, the demand for digital products will skyrocket, right? And the amount of developers are going to need, right, was going to be around I think something above 150 million developers or something. Sorry, the amount of tools, right? The amount of tools we are going to need, digital tools we are going to need will be above maybe 150 or so. And the amount of developers we would need to build this was around maybe 50, above 50 million or so. I'll try to get that as statistics. But where I'm going to was, as at that time, right, we had less, less than, I think, 2 million or even a million developers, right? And they said if those developers that we won't train somebody to be as good as they were good, right? As at 2025, we would not still have enough developers. So meaning as at 2025, we're not going to have enough developers to build the amount of tools we need. And what does it tell you? The demand will keep increasing. We still need all of these things. So there will be need for people to start building things themselves. And this is where low code and no code come into play. So we are getting to a point where we cannot have enough digital resource or enough coders, developers. So there's a gap. There'll be a gap. So there's exponential increase in demand for digital solutions. But on the other hand, we have lesser. people that can develop this. So we are getting to a point where we need more people to come into this space and start building things. And that's where low code and no code comes in. It allows you come into this space and fill in that demand. So this telling you that there's still going to be high demand for digital tools, but we don't have enough people that can develop and drop this or produce this. So you coming in, you're just filling in a gap that already exists, right?
mm,
So it's not like you're coming in and trying to look for a gap or look for demand. The demand already exists.
mm,
So the advantage of this is it gives you that skills. It gives you that skills, right, to become useful and relevant. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not a big fan of coding. I've tried coding. I've tried to learn one programming language or the other, and I'm not getting it. It's not flowing. It's geniuses that learn programming. It's geniuses that learn coding. Then this is an avenue for you to come into this space, right? This is an avenue for you to come into this space. With this low code, no code, you yourself can come into this space. It requires little or no technical, like low technical knowledge, right? Without having much technical knowledge, you can start building. You just need to look at the fundamentals, learn the fundamentals, and you're already building. And the good thing is, within 2 weeks, 1 month, you can start building solutions that you start seeing, right? And I've had boot camps in the past, like a 1 week boot camp in schools. So then, earlier in my career, when I started a lot of time, myself and my team, we go to different schools to empower students. And within a week, you see students building amazing products, amazing solutions for their schools, solving their problem, right? And that's where low code, no code come in. It allows you to develop, build, and you can start seeing the relevance now. Now, coming to the business space, the workspace, tech is moving, things are changing, demands are changing, customer taste is changing every time. You need to keep up with those high demand. Now, if an organization comes to meet you and tell you that, oh, I need an application, or oh, I need a solution, the truth is that they're not telling you they need that solution because they foresee they need the solution. They're telling you that they need that application or that solution because a problem exists and that application or solution is going to solve it, right? So
mm,
if you are to go with the normal route, of building this, right, of building all of these solutions, you get developers, and this is not their fault, right? Because of a high demand on them. Marketing team needs solution, HR needs application, finance needs solution, accounting team needs solution, everybody needs solution across the company, and all of them are relaxing on just one team, the tech team that's very, very lean, right? And that would now take the team maybe 3 months to 6 months to develop. Whereas with low code, no code, number one, you can build this within a short time. You already have all of the frameworks. It's just like a drag and drop, right? And just a little bit of formulas, not even codes, formulas, a little bit of formulas here and there. And you're building an application that solves your own problem. You're building automations that automate and make your process very seamless without having to go through all of those wait for 3 months, 6 months to just get a solution to solve your own problem. You can then go in and start building your solutions yourself. And the good thing is, if you want to extend it, you can then hand that solution you built over to tech to then extend it to make it bigger and sophisticated, right? So in the business place, it helps
mm,
with fast and quick innovation. Immediately you have the problem, you can jump in and start solving and building and deploying solutions. You don't have to start waiting 3 months, 6 months to solve a solution. I remember this year, early this year, 8Q1, that's around January to March. I had a client I was working with in Australia, and she had a solution for her team, and she reached out to tech, and tech told her she needs to wait 4 months. And during our
oh,
section together, uh, because it was a training, she was able to build this solution. Definitely, I had to just help her with some little looks here and there. And within 2 to 3 weeks, she has this solution done with a low code solution or a low code to call the Power Platform, right? She had the solution done, and the team were already using it, and they were very happy in her team. In short, okay, she was talking about how they were congratulating her, and people were really happy seeing the value it was bringing to the business. And that's the good thing with low code, no code. If there is a demand within 4 months, you don't have to start waiting that long to get things done. You can get it done within 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month,
mm,
6 weeks. You're done, you're deployed, and people are already enjoying the value. And the good thing is, if things change, because you develop it yourself, you can go and change things yourself, right?
mm,
And another good thing about it is, nobody knows. the issue or a problem they are facing as much as you do. What I mean by that is if I'm in HR, right, and I need a solution, I know why I need that solution. I know the issue I'm facing
Yeah,
that
that's true.
makes me need that solution. So now we are giving you the power to go and build something for yourself. You'll be in a better place to build something that fits and suits your problem compared to somebody that you have to explain to.
Than any other developer. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. A developer needs to now come into your shoes to understand, okay, what's HR like? What did they face? What's the issues person talking about? Is it a big deal? But you know what you're facing, right? So if you're building a solution yourself, you better would build something to fit in your solution or fit in that thing you're trying to face than
Hmm.
a developer. So there are a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
advantages and goods to using the low code, no code. It's
Wow.
limitless.
Toby, let me ask some questions based on what you've said so far, and I think what you said so far is really interesting. To our audience now, and then to people, I think it is clear to them from what you said so far that you know not only does no code not only does no code saves time, in terms of like project deliverables and things like that, it will definitely save time, but it is saving money as well. And as much as it is saving money, it would actually help you to deliver that quality, in the sense of you actually delivering the solution that you really want, because you would happen to be one of the key pioneers, or like you happen to be the developer yourself, developing your own solution, and not having to like communicate to like a project manager that would then communicate to a web developer, and then that channel of communication just kind of like disrupts things, and before the end result that you get is not what you actually want, and you have to like spend more money and spend more time on fixing the things and everything like that. And earlier on, you were just talking about how you go to universities to empower students, to learn local development. I think that is really interesting. This is part of what we ourselves do at Girls into Tech. We have someone who happens to be our co-founder, David Orok. I'm not sure if you know him. He's an advocate for local development as well. He's always everywhere when it comes to local development. Shout out to David Orok. He's a fantastic guy, and he's always he's doing great things in that space as well. Yeah, so yeah, thank you, for letting us know those advantages, because I think there've been a whole lot of like news and trends about no code development lately, but still not a lot of people know about it, and there's still a need for us to like shout more about it, and then to get more people in that space, because the reality of things is that these days AI is coding. There's a whole lot of solution, and things are really changing, and things are shifting quickly. So right. So on that note as well, I would like to ask you, because I see that and I know that you are a Microsoft MVP. So I would imagine local development, although you're no code, you're writing less code, or you're writing no code at all. Even that particular industry still like have some many gems, or some different tools that people use. Like I would imagine you yourself, maybe you kind of like maybe focus on Microsoft packages, the Power Apps and the likes of them. And then I know some other people, someone like David O'Rourke, to do a lot of like Flutter Flow, and then and some other no code tools like that. Like, so were you specifically, do you do more of like Microsoft packages, like the Power Apps, to develop to develop digital solutions? Is that where you focus?
Okay. So for the low code tools, so when we talk of low code, right, it's that generic code, more like you're talking of something yeah generic. So there are different industries that have their own products. So in the Microsoft space, you have the Power Platform, right? For example, Google has a product called Zipper, and that's also a low code tool, right? We have out systems, we have UiPath as the other would also kind of fall under low code. So for me, over the years, I've tried to build competence around a couple of tools. But definitely, okay, it's Power Platform, Microsoft Power Platform would be my strongest suit, right? But I have experience building across a multiple of local tools, even outside the Power Platform.
That's interesting. So you have multiple experience around building local development around the Power Platform, and I think one of the major things that I can pick from what you just told us now is that it seems as if some of these should I say industries or applications that are out there, the Google, the Microsoft, the the what have you, and the likes of them, like the tech giants. They seems to have like this no code application built on their own system. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. And I think that's one of the reasons, definitely, Microsoft MVP, I always preach about Power Platform. But that's one of the reasons the Power Platform stand out, to be sincere. All right, this maybe sincere right now. But a lot of them, yeah, this low code, no code is built within. So it's just like I give this example of, buying an egg. When you buy an egg, consumer, right? What I'm buying it for is the what is inside, right? So I break the shell, I take the content inside, and I throw the shell away. Mind you,
Mm.
some people that shell is what they use, right? I think things like Vim are made from eggshell. I think eggshell is an ingredient for some, soap products, some soap product, that detergent rather. So what I'm going to is when you go and purchase some of these packages, for example, your organization uses a lot of organization uses Microsoft Word, a lot of organization uses Microsoft Excel, they use PowerPoint. Right, a lot of organization they use this. I think statistics shows about above 80% of organizations in the world actually use this product, right? And the good
Yeah,
thing
that's
is when you buy that product, when you're buying the Word, Microsoft would not sell Word. They will not say, okay, to be buy Word or to buy Excel. They sell what they call the Office 365 suite of applications. They sell a package, just like your eggshell. They sell the egg and the yolk and everything within the egg. They sell it as one to you. You just pick what is important, or you just pick what you use or what you need, and you drop the rest. Meanwhile, you're paying for everything. So the low codes we are talking about, this Power Platform, for example, is together with that, similar to other organizations. So talking about Microsoft, for example, now, it's similar to that. So when you buy Office 365 for your package, yeah, it comes with your Word, it comes with your Excel, it comes with PowerPoint, it also comes with Power Automate and Power Apps. These are local solutions that you can start leveraging to build. And that's the good thing. You don't have to pay any extra license, extra money. No, it comes together with it all in one. Just for you to start harnessing it and start leveraging it.
That's really interesting, Toby. Yeah, because where I work as well, we use obviously we use Microsoft, not obviously anyway, because these days some other industries or some other companies tend to use like they are using more OS or different type of operating system these days. Some are
Yeah.
using basically Google and things like that. But where I
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
we use Microsoft packages, and then of course we use a lot of Excel, PowerPoint, and the likes of them. But I think, like, just like you were trying to say, or just like you were saying earlier, where this no code kind of like comes in is like, if you can imagine, maybe an HR, the example that you were trying to give like, earlier on, an HR who is trying to like, build maybe like a payment system where you can automate the whole thing, like, and then, this whatever application that you build on your Microsoft package system or something, that generates monthly inventory or accounting for maybe like the pay slips, or and then send notifications to the staff members, to let them know how much they send their pay slips automatically, and things like that, things that kind of like make organization go move on smoothly. I would imagine those are the kind of applications that people are actually built on Microsoft packages these days. That is just my own imagination because I'm not in that space. But for someone like you, you're like expert in this space, and I believe you'll be able to like walk us through the actual types of applications that people can actually build in this Microsoft no code and low code space. Like, how I would imagine that people can connect Excel together with Word documents, and and maybe even Microsoft Dynamics, the Microsoft Dynamics for the CRM, the for marketing automation, and and things like that. How can they use no code to connect all of these Microsoft apps together? And then, so far from your own personal experience, what kind of projects have you built to help organizations, do their business better?
Oh, thank you very much. I think this us getting to the really, really practical parts. Let's not go far. Right now, especially in Nigeria, right? I think we have a couple of audience from Nigeria. A lot of jackpot have been happening. So many people are leaving the organization. and the organization need to employ people to replace those that are going. Now in HR, they do what they call the offboarding and onboarding. So meaning when people leave, they offboard them. That when people are being employed, they onboard them. There is a process. Definitely, process is unique across different organizations. One of the examples I give, I remember during my that's my IT industrial training in 4 level in engineering. I don't think it's limited to engineering. In other fields too, we go for the 6 month industrial training. We call it IT industrial training. And I happen to work in this oil and gas, servicing organization. And I went. The HR is on the ninth floor. So I went to the ninth floor to meet the HR on the day I resumed. And she told me that, oh, in the process, I need to do about 4 training. One was the HSC, one was security, and other two. I really can't remember all of the trainings. But I had to go to the second floor for a training. Now I finished the training on the second floor. One of the managers, I think at the time, wasn't around or so, and I could not move on because according to the process, that manager would need to sign off, right? We need to sign, right, on a doc on this paper that they carried around with my name. We need to sign off on that. Then that's what I would present, and then I can now take training on the second, go to the second team rather. Then the second team to I'll do the training. Get the sign off. Now after the first training, that day literally got wasted because the manager was not around. He had gone out, for some business meetings and stuff. And then he came, I think, the following day. I got my signature on the paper. Then I could proceed to the next. Then that one, I think that man was in a meeting for about maybe some hours. I was for him to finish, sign off, then go to the next one. Fast forward to when I came to this low code. This is a process that could have been automated, leveraging one of the solutions, like I said, the Power Automate. And this is something you
Mm,
already have access to within your Office 365. So meaning if you're using Excel, Word, you have access to this. You don't just know you have access to it. You have access to it. So now they could automate this in such a way that once I get to the first manager's the first training, somebody was training me, right? Once the person trained me is done with the training, all the person just needs to do was just to do a kind of nudge, like a button on an application, and that shows the manager that, oh, so person is done. The manager doesn't need to be in the office. The manager can just, as long as he sees that, oh, I've been trained for someone in his team, he can just tap on the button right from his phone, his device, his little laptop, whichever one they want to use. Phone or laptop, you can use either of them with local. It's not limited to just desktop. And with that, it appends the signature to the document and sends that notification to the next team. I don't start carrying people up and down. I would have gone to the next team and I would have done all of those photoing in a day, and all of those informations would have been sent back to the HR. That's just one case. Another case in the HR, sometimes you are recruited, they got your information at the point of interview.
mm,
When you get to the organization, they're asking you for the same set of information. When you are going for onboarding, they're asking you for the same set of information. That is a lot of manual and ethic process. And I dislike that a lot, especially when you have to maybe, for example, call a customer agent and you told them your information, you told them this was a complaint. When you call 3 hours later, you are telling them the same thing when all of this could have been automated. At the point of them getting information from the interview, once the person made the process or is being employed, right, you have an application that takes all of this information and synchronizes it into the system. All you just need to do is come to the HR and they just update with the other information that they need to get from you, right? Once that is being updated, when you are going to your team or you're going for onboarding, those informations can just be sent already to those people because it already exists in the system. But what we are seeing now is that same information is being requested when you are going across different teams, and that's a lot of work. Looking at other areas, let's even talk about working in short any team. You report, right? You do reporting. I remember joining an organization then where to do the report, someone was in charge of reporting, and when it was time to report, the person gets update from everybody in the different teams because they are working across different um, branches. Then he updates it on the Word document. Then every morning they do this stand-up meeting. So the person presents his screen, and then each of them start speaking to their updates. I remember joining the organization then, one organization I joined then, and the person went on leave and they told me to take over that process. And I told myself, I can't control all of this thing. I'll start Because literally that person spent 30 to 1 hour, if I'm not exaggerating, around 30 minutes, I think, to start getting update from each person and start updating on that worksheet. And now I'm sure you know there are things like online documents. There's Word Online. So then I use what they call OneNote, right? OneNote and the Power Automate. And what I did was I had a OneNote and a Power Automate. The OneNote was where you make your update to. That automation goes to everybody. So for example, myself, Toby, and Ruth were in a team. At 4:30 every day, close of business was 5 o'clock. At 4:30 every day, Toby gets a prompt that he should make his own updates, or Ruth gets a prompt that she should make her own updates. All they need to do is just click on the link in their mail and they make their own updates. I make my own updates. Toby makes his own updates. And the following day, we present the OneNote. The following day, and a notification comes to you again telling you to make your own updates on your reports, right? When you click on the link, it takes you to your slides or to your page. You make your update, I make my updates, Toby makes his own updates. And what this now helped the team do was it eliminated that time. So I no longer need to spend any 30 minutes. All I need to do is just go there, make my updates within a minute or two. Ruth makes her update, Toby make the update. I don't need to start calling them, reaching out to them, getting their updates, staying on the call. It eliminated that time. Now it might look like small thing or it look like a little thing to you, but calculate 30 minutes. Now calculate 30 minutes over a course of 1 week, right? That's a 30 times 5. That's 150 minutes. Now calculate that across 4 months, right? Across 4 months, that's 600, if I'm not wrong. That's 600 minutes, right? 600 minutes. That is a good amount of time you could have used in doing something else. If it's even you taking another course, taking a skill, a course related to a skill, is better off than wasting that on a manual process, right? These are ways you can start leveraging automation in your everyday tasks. You don't have to wait, to build something very big. I've seen them build low code, right? Solutions for elaborate projects. I've once worked in an oil and gas facility where I was even one of the persons in the team, one of the developers, one of the main developers in the team, and we built an application and solution that helps reduce thefts in the organization, right? Reduce thefts because they're unable to track people, people that were taking things from some people and delivering. So you have to do an application that sits to a centralized database, right? And then you have to build a dashboard on that that will show to the managers. So you're not limited. A lot of things you can build with that. Just before I round up, let me go to the marketing end. I worked in the manufacturing industry as a consultant. And what they did was they sent some people to the field, the sales guys to the field, to take surveys, to do some analysis, some surveys, some analysis on the field. They send those informations back to the team. But when they report back, they bring it back to the team, they analyze the information, then the management now make a decision based on that analysis to see how they can make their brand much more available in the markets and review demand, right? And what we noticed was by the time these guys go to the field, get this information, by the time they come back, before they now sit and analyze it, a lot of time has gone. And customer demand, like I said, is changing every time. But with low code application like the Power Apps, we built a mobile application such that on the field, while the sales guys are taking their survey, they're imputing that data on the field. So this is not the sales guys going to the market to write it on the paper. They're going to the field with their phone, imputing those information on a survey. All of those information is coming back end. We had a dashboard sitting on this database, and the management were receiving real-time data. So they could
Yeah.
tell why they were sitting down there that, oh, our product is moving more in urban markets than in eco markets. So what do we need to do to make our product more available in eco markets? Should we increase advertisement, or is our price too high compared to our competitors in eco markets? What can we do? Or the eco market are not just aware of the brand. All of these decisions you cannot know until you are able to make your process more seamless, optimized, and you're receiving real-time data. And this is how local was able to come in and solve these problems for these organizations. So it is not just limited to just a small scale. Yes, you can build for small scale. You can also build sophisticated and elaborated enterprise scaled application leveraging low code. You just need people that are skilled enough to jump on it.
Thank you for that in-depth. Thank you for that in-depth. Brief and details on no code development, and what we can actually do with Microsoft packages, and how organizations are currently utilizing it for to better themselves, and to do their businesses, and run their organization better. So quickly, before I hand over to Ruth, I just have one more question to ask before I hand over to Ruth. Like this is really interesting here to see how one can actually connect all of these Microsoft apps, and then build no code development or no code applications on them to to better to better run the organizations and things like that. That is really interesting. But when it comes to Microsoft, I think it is the knowledge is actually limited. The resources are not actually really out there compared to, like, other tools like Flutterflow and things like that. The resources are not really out there to learn how to actually develop these apps, or how to actually run or do no code on on the Microsoft packages. So for you specifically, how did you learn all of these things that you know now? Is there somewhere, is there a resource center somewhere, or is there somewhere? How did you learn in the case of like Microsoft packages, or no code development with Microsoft packages specifically? How did you actually learn to become who you are today?
All right. So for Microsoft products and packages, yeah, to keep it brief, there's what we call the Microsoft Learn. In short, people call it the Microsoft University because you can learn about any of the products there. Microsoft Learn. Just browse on your put on your browser. You can Google it. Microsoft Learn. Any single product or any product from Microsoft, you'll see it there. And the good thing is you also receive updates, updated documentation there as well. And they have some videos, little videos embedded there in case as someone that likes to practicalize. So Microsoft Learn is the one place I'll tell you to go and check. And definitely you can see a lot of content on YouTube and the rest. A lot of bloggers also have blogs that they write about Microsoft. But Microsoft Learn is the one place I'll tell you to go if you're looking for anything that has to do with Microsoft products or you want to build yourself, learn, have information about it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I was going to ask something related to what Toby asked. Like, specifically, can you mention some tools that you've used, or some courses for beginners to try? I know you've directed them to go to Microsoft Learn, but it could be really broad. But if you can mention maybe one or two tools that you've used, or that you would advise beginners to check out.
Okay, so if you're talking of tools, right, tools to learn, right, Power Apps, Power Automate, I'll tell you, you can start with those. Then where you can learn, yeah, Microsoft Learn will be my number one. There are other people that check out. A lot of these two people, I would Reza Durani is a YouTuber. He drops an update or he drops a video every week. And for me, I'm the kind of person that I like practicalizing. So I'm more of building. So I love practicalizing. I love watching then implementing. So I'm not just a I read too, right? But I prefer watching. So Reza Durani, there's also someone called Young. They're Microsoft MVP as well, and they drop video every week about things on the Power Platform. There's also a blogger, Matthew Devani, as well. So you can check out his own blog. And like I said, Microsoft Learn also have documentations, and under the documentations is now categorized. So it's not like you just go there and everything's scattered. No. If you want to learn Power Platform, when you go to Microsoft Learn, type Power Platform, there is a module for Power Platform. If you want to learn Excel, Microsoft Excel, when you go to Microsoft Learn, there's a column where you can search. You search, it shows you the breakdown of the resource on Microsoft Excel. So the same thing for any other product you want to learn. And it shows you want to take it from beginner level to intermediate. It shows you Microsoft Excel beginner, Microsoft Excel intermediate, Microsoft Excel expert. So it's not like scattered. No, when you get there, it is divided modules by modules, product by product, and levels by levels, right? So that's one place I'll direct you. There's YouTube as well too. So Microsoft documentations as well, but they are being dropped on Microsoft Learn, so you can find them on Microsoft Learn. Microsoft themselves have documentation they drop also on their products.
All right, thank you so much. I hope our audience are picking up one or two things like I am doing. So let's ask about the salary range. So for a no code developer in naira and in dollars, how much do you think is the average salary for a no code developer?
Okay. All right, so the question is a bit tricky. Reason being, it's different. You know, industries differ now. Like you cannot be calling some prices for a maybe small consulting. For example, you're working in a small consulting company. You can't be calling that salary range. An entry level might be having, let's assume, right, in a small consulting, maybe salary range can be like a 150,000 naira, right? But imagine that same person is entering as an entry level into maybe a bank, right? That might be going to something like maybe 350, 400 ish. Then compare someone going to oil and gas, definitely those one are eating oil money too. So the ranges differs, right? But I think when I checked online, I remember one time making research, and I saw, for example, if you are maybe, for example, in the UK, right? No, sorry, in the US, sorry, in the US. If you're in the US, I know you can be earning as high as is 7,000, is and as high as is 7,000 per month, right? 7,000 US dollars per month as a local developer, right? It's 7,000 US dollars per month, and that's a lot of money. Right? That's a lot of
Yeah,
money. So that's what I'll
yeah,
just say the range is so far.
I agree. So, just to put it out there that as much as we know that money is really important and serves as compensation in our job, it shouldn't be the driving force. There's always room to learn and room to grow. And who knows, when you start, that 150 might not even be your case. But with patience and improvement, continuous development, you could get to that $7,000 that Toby just talked about right now. So yeah, lastly, before we open the floor for more questions, what do you think the future holds for no code developers or no code the industry or the landscape? What do you think the future holds basically?
Okay. Apologies. Shortly before I jump into that question, yeah, please, like Ruth said, don't start with that money mindset. I started with a 50K salary, right? I was just earning 50 when I started too. So, but I'm not earning that today. So please don't let that be the driving force. But definitely, if you're learning, that salary will definitely come, or that funds, that um, financial growth will actually come. Now, for the future of low code, right? I see it being the norms, all right? I see it getting to the point where the Word document and the PowerPoint, for example, if we look at some years ago, at least in Nigeria, some years ago, you could put being um proficient with Word, like, oh, I could use Microsoft Word, I could use PowerPoint as a skill on your CV, right? You can have it as a skill on your
Mm,
CV. 10 years ago, right now, that is not relevant. You can't be putting that on your CV. They expect everybody to be able to use those basic tools. I see people getting to that space where it is something that we believe or we see everybody using, right? You should leverage it. Maybe not to the best capacity, but at least for some fundamental things. So the future I see in low code is people using this for their daily tasks, right? To automate, digitalize, and to make the process better and seamless. Then looking at the event or the um rise in AI in everything we do, I see AI making things easier for people. I remember when I was learning, then it was a bit difficult, right? There were not a lot of available resource then as they are now. Also, every single thing you need to learn yourself. Right now, there's AI that can help you. Now we say it is low code, no code, right? That low code means you're writing just a very simple formula or stuff like that.
mm,
AI can help you with that. So meaning it's a no code can become a no code for you all, right? So you need to do something, all right? And you don't even need to carry it outside. Microsoft themselves have an AI tool called Microsoft Copilot, and Microsoft introduced Microsoft Copilot into the Power Platform, right? It's one of the new things they've done. So if you go to Power Platform right now or your Power Automate, you would see by the side a Copilot AI asking you that what do you want to do, and you can tell it what you need to do, it proposes the answer for you. It can generate. There was a time I was trying to get a formula, or I wrote a formula. It was not giving me exact what thing I looked out for, and I just put into AI that, oh, help me tweak this. I'm not getting this exact thing, and I was just missing the position of a comma in my code, and I just put it back, and that's how AI helped me. That was something I would have needed to sit down with to debug, right? But with AI, you see, I'm able to make things easier and becoming more efficient and productive. And that's where I also see Power Platform or low code rather going into in the future. AI would come in to make things easy for people. It will make that low code eventually, maybe at the point, become a no code, meaning AI will be helping you with all of the coding parts, but definitely the thinking part, you still need that part. So don't be scared that with AI, you will not be relevant. Rather, with AI, you'll be more efficient, and with AI, you'll be more productive.
In summary, AI is not taking our jobs.
Yeah, AI is not taking your job. It's those that are leveraging AI that would come for the jobs.
Mm. I was about to say that. Are you sure AI will not take our jobs from us? But yeah, so I think if you have questions now, please just drop them in the comment section and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. So Toby Oluwatobi here. So for no code developers, has it provided opportunities for people to travel? I know now you can work remotely everywhere, but I'm more concerned about the relocation part. Like, do people get job sponsorship abroad and travel just due to their skills in low code or no code development?
Okay, so you allow me to start calling out some of my friends now. All right, so let me
Call
call
them
them
now.
out.
Come and carry me.
All right, so you can check out people like Rachel Irabo. Rachel Irabo was, or definitely she came from, I think, is it University of Benin or something, maybe then, and she started learning Power Platform. Right now, she works for KPM, I think KPMG, yeah, but she's not in the country. She has relocated, and she relocated because of a job, right?
Hmm.
That's Richard Erabo. There's Funshaw, yeah, Funshaw Kerele. Funshaw Kerele also, yeah, is definitely was one of our guys in the community, and he also relocated, based on work as well. So these are people I know. These are not people that I read their story. I know them, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's something that can take you
So
out, right? So you
yeah,
can, there are jobs
opportunities.
that come to locate it, there are opportunities there. And funny enough, there are also remote opportunities, right? You can work for, I told that I recently did something with somebody in Australia, right? That's an opportunity that came up for me, right? While I'm here in Nigeria, right? So you can also get opportunity also while you're in the country, and you can also get opportunity that can come with location. So yes, that's the answer to that question. Yes, you can get these
Yeah.
opportunities.
So you have so many opportunities are limitless with no code. I'll leave the floor for Toby to just take over from here and answer the questions that will
Yeah,
be there.
thank you again, Oluwatobi. Yeah, I think we just need to clarify. I'm Toby, you Toby as well, so people need to know who is who.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you again, Oluwatobi. So at this point, yeah, if you're still watching us, if you're there out there, just let us know. Do you have any question for us? So far, we've been talking about no code development, and then specifically in the aspect of like Microsoft packages. Oluwatobi, who is with us here today, he's a Microsoft MVP, and then he does a lot of like he creates a lot of digital solutions for around Microsoft packages, Microsoft Powerhouse, Microsoft platforms, to help organizations do their businesses better. And this is what we've been talking about all day. And we've been talking. We looked at the salary range as well. It is interesting. Although we said the money should not really be the major thing or the only thing that you actually focus on. But the truth is, for for when you want to work or you want to you need a job. You need a job because you want to make money. Money tends to be like part of the motivation as well. And just like you said, like no code developers, most especially those that are you know doing Microsoft and Microsoft their no code development. They are doing well for themselves. Like he has mentioned names of different people who are like Nigerians just like you, or maybe Africans just like you, or even if you're not Nigerians or you're not African, you're white, you're whatever race that you're from. It is applicable to everybody really. Right, but because most of our audience tends to be like Nigerians and Africans, we're talking to you specifically because we know that some of us tend to be like in the disadvantaged side of things, or sometimes with poor internet and sometimes and everything that you can think of that that may put you or put us in that level. But the opportunity is actually there. The opportunity is actually there, and this is what Oluwatobi have been able to like highlight to us today to tell us. So on that note, if you're still watching and then you have any question at all, perhaps maybe how to break into this no code development for Microsoft packages, or like if there's anything that he has said or we the host said so far that you think like is not so clear to you and you want to know more about, please feel free to ask your questions. We're going to be taking questions right now. Just drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know if you have any question for us. Yeah. So we are watching. We're waiting for your questions. Let us know if you have any question for us, and then before we call it a day. All right. So whilst we were waiting for questions, I want to say, thank you again, Oluwatobi, for joining us. It's been an amazing and interesting section. Really insightful to know that there's a lot that we can do these days with no code development, most especially around Microsoft packages. So someone is asking a question here. Philemon, Philemon is saying. What will you say to someone that wants to switch from natural sciences to the field of to the tech field? So what advice do you think you have for someone like that? And I think the same person have another question again. Um, Also for someone that is just stepping into the creative space, UX and UI design precisely. Is it wise to learn no code? Like this person is learning UX and UI design already, and then perhaps like they want to start exploring or no code development now. What do you have to say to that, Oluwatobi?
All right, so let me start from the first question, and I would also use that to address every other question that has to do with switching from any field you are to a tech field. So I tell people to start from where they are, right? Start from where you are. Whether you're in the accounting, you talked about natural science, you did biology, just start from where you are. So I think I was in a conversation with somebody earlier this week, and yeah, I was talking about being in an organization where I was working in a team and he would like to switch to tech. And he was thinking of just, um, resigning and starting afresh. And I told him that it's better off starting from where you are. I have a friend, he's a cloud engineer now, but he started um as someone in the telecoms, right? Was in a normal team, right? Just one of the teams in the organization then, and just doing. It was not a tech field, right? It just a normal team where they look at some things on the screen. I really can't remember the role exactly, but he does that, and he wanted to then switch to cloud engineering. And I remember I was having a conversation then, and he started from where he was. So he started taking courses, then started learning, building himself right there in that organization. In that small organization, he was now able to switch his own team, right? While he was in that organization to the cloud engineering team. Because he had grown already in that other field he was. He didn't have to start as an entry level. No. So switch to a cloud engineer on that same level. So when he was now leaving that organization, right now he has left the organization. When he was leaving that organization to another organization, he grew way higher than where he was. Because when he then switched to that cloud engineering, he learned a lot, he got experience, right? Being in that industry, he understood how things were in other teams. And coming to cloud engineering, he had a plus, right? Having idea around other things, plus that skill set. So when he was going for interview to get role in another place, like he went higher because he had built experience from here. So when they were asking him, what do you know about cloud engineering? He will tell you he was a cloud engineer where he was coming from. You can't compare that or look at a situation where he now resigned. He now start learning cloud engineering. Then he started looking for a entry role up and down, right? That would take him a lot of time because there are other people that are also on the fundamental level. And that's the truth. A lot of people are on the fundamental level. A lot of people are saying, oh, they want to learn tech, they want to learn that, they want to build on this. But at the end of the day, all of them are just at the fundamental level, right? So that place has a lot of people, right? And the capacity or the industries that can take in these people are not as many as that demand is, right? There are not as many as that demand is. But if you can build yourself, right, to get above that level, definitely there is always a space for you. Even at an entry level, there's always a space for you. You know how to strategically put yourself out there. You volunteer, you go for events, conferences, join a community. Join a community. This is a community, right? Join a community. If bros come in, they refer you, right? They refer you for those roles, and you get, that's how you put yourself ahead of other people too. So you can always switch from whatever team you are to another team, right? Just start from where you are, start building from where you are, start learning from where you are. Then you can always switch roles, right? In the organization you are, or you can start looking out for other roles in other organization while you're still in that place. So that's what I would say to that. For the person talking about creative space, right? I learned the UI UX. I'll tell you to keep on learning that. It's a plus. So now the low code, what it gives you, right? It's the way you can imagine. That's how you can build. So meaning I have the flexibility to build according to the way I can imagine. So as a UI UX person, they teach you a lot of things um while you're learning that, idealization, then a lot of things, right? A lot of things. And all of those things come in play when you're using this low code, no code. Because you're going to be building an application, a framework. Those applications you see out there, somebody designed it. Somebody imagined how it looked like. It looked like I've seen a lot of, in short, some of the most used or adoptable solutions that I've seen are from people that transition from the UI UX field, right? So I would say that, and if possible, also combine this low code with it. You would see that it's applicable. What you're learning right there is applicable in where you're going to, right? There's a lady called Christine, right? Christine. She's a Microsoft MVP too. And what she's known for is her design. She's a Power Platform developer as well, an MVP, but she stands out in the community because of her unique touch when it comes to design. A lot of people are out there to building an amazing application and solution, but what stands her out is her unique sense of design. So that UI UX skills they are learning can be that unique thing that will stand you out to Philemon. All right. Yeah, I hope I was able to address that.
Yeah, thank you, Oluwatobi. I think that's really interesting. Like, I think, just like the popular saying, no knowledge is lost. Whatever you know already or whatever you are learning, you can always carry it over to different things. We have another question here from our friend here from Cotonou. And then he's asking, he said he's a meta satisfied front end developer, and then he wished to blend or switch to local development. And then he's asking how can he go about it? And I think his first question is also similar to his next question, which is asking like how can he learn that most people in his country does not know about local development. So how can this person actually learn and break into local development, specifically maybe Microsoft packages?
Okay. So yeah, speaking to the first person, yeah, being a front end developer, a meta certified front end developer, this is very relevant, right? This is also very relevant. Some skill sets you're picking up from here, right? You interact with a lot of applications. You already have that edge, right? You have that tech skills, you have that edge. Let's be sincere about that. You have that edge. So coming into low code won't be very difficult. You can even take in some of the things you've done. I remember joining an organization and they told me that the person that I was supposed to maintain this solution when I joined this organization then. And the person that developed this was the front end developer. When I opened the application, that person was writing code. And in my mind, I'm like, this is supposed to be a low code. The person brought code into all of this. But I saw some unique things the person did because he had that sense of development, right? The application was very, very functional and seamless. We were able to optimize a lot of things because of his tech skills, right?
Hmm.
So being a front-end developer, yes, you also have that knowledge. Like I said, no knowledge is waste. That what to be said now. You can bring in that knowledge to also learn this low code. And earlier we also spoke about resources you can use in learning. Microsoft Learn is where I'll direct you to check. Check Microsoft Learn, check the Power Platform. Um, Under Microsoft Learn, just type it there, Power Platform or low code. You'll see resource that will guide you. Right. And we also mentioned some people you can. check their YouTube channel for. You can listen to the recording. I believe this will be on Toby's YouTube channel or Girls in Tech YouTube channel rather. You can check it out. Now, speaking to you, don't really have that low code or nobody knows about low code in your country. Yeah, to be sincere, he said Cotonou, right? Let me confirm. Is it Toby? Just confirm. Is it Cotonou?
Yes, this particular person is from
Uh,
Cotonou, Benin Republic.
yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was going there. So amazingly, let me not announce, right? Let me not break this cat, but I'll just give you little
Oh, come on, break the ice. Come on, give me the truth. This is what we
so
like to hear. You
I'm
have to
I'm
tell us
I'm
now.
wo-
Come on, Toby. You know how to tell us. Tell us. Give
all
us
right.
the
So
gist.
I'm working with. I'll just give you a little information. So I'm working with somebody. All right. His name is Jean, and we are doing some amazing things. So don't worry, a community is coming to Benin Republic very soon, right?
So,
So I'm key on that. So we are working. Sure, funny enough, we are working together with some people in Microsoft as well. So
mm,
it's going to be a very amazing and massive launch. So if possible, I want to be there myself when this launch happens, right? So just know that a lot of things are coming. The community is coming to your country, and we are looking at making it happen. So I'm very interested. For other people at another country, before you start asking your questions, please, nothing. We are working on getting across all African countries, right? I'm really keen on that. So, but right now, I'm working with someone in Benin Republic to make sure this is happening, and we're working on this big time. So, I'm telling you that something is coming out very soon. In short, some groundworks have been done. So just watch out. We are coming.
all right. Oluwatobi. So there you go. You had it here first, Oluwatobi, and then his partners are coming to Benin Republic, and they are doing a whole lot of things as well to empower people across Africa, which is interesting. And then us as girls into tech as well. This is what as much as we are key into like helping the girl child and then the young ladies and helping women get more into tech because the stats obviously is that we have like less less female tech experts out there, so we need more female experts in the field, most especially in a country like Nigeria and in Africa as a whole. This is our own drive, but as well as as an African, as a Nigerian, and due to the fact that most of our audience tend to come from Nigeria and then some other province like Benin Republic that you see here. Yeah, so Oluwatobi, I think this would be an opportunity for us as Girls into Tech to make a proposal to you. Like some of those initiatives that you guys are doing across Africa. I think like we would like to like partner with you, whichever way that we can. Earlier on, I was just saying that. We have someone who is like an amazing no-code developer as well, David Orok. He's one of the champions in the industry. Do you actually know David Orok? Do you know him?
So I think I came across him on your page. I'm not going deep into his details, but I think I came across his
Yeah,
information on
so
your page.
David Orok is one of those one of those experts in the field as well. He's a Flutter Flow ambassador. He's doing
Wow.
amazing well for himself, and then he's one of the co-founders of Girls into Tech as well. So we with David, we would like to like we at Girls into Tech, we would like to like partner with you guys and on those initiatives that you guys have going on across Africa and things like that. So I would be looking forward to introducing you to David, and then and then we just see how we can partner with you guys on those initiatives because it's something that is really interesting, and then we are really key into helping the girl child and women get into tech. So we have one last question. I think this is going to be the last question for the day, and then we can actually call it a day. It's over an hour now. It's been an interesting section with Oluwatobi Loba. We've been able to like dive into all of the nitty gritties of like Microsoft packages and all of the no code and the automations and things like that, and then the interesting and juicy salary as well and opportunities that are out there for people who do no code development. So this last question is from Lawan Messi, and then this person is asking, the job market hasn't been friendly lately, and we are still learning new things, improving our skills. So what is your advice? What is your advice? I think this person is particularly concerned about the job market and maybe layoffs and things like that. So, do you think like maybe no code development is sustainable? What is your advice for this person?
All right. So yes, I'll be straight with you. So when it comes to the job market, It's still growing, right? So I remember when I joined then, like when I became a developer then, it wasn't you rarely would see something like a local developer, a power platform developer, right? Or a Flutter developer, right? You hardly would see all those kind of roles come out. Funny enough, how some of these roles came out was because some people were able to change things, right? So I remember one of the industry I've worked in, how they came across a role was during the COVID period. There were a lot of um, people that could not go to the office. In short, they were able to stop coming to the office because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic then, and they needed to start working from home. So they needed to start leveraging a lot of digital tools. And somebody there came across the Power Platform and started building solutions for them that they could be using while working from home, right? And then the person, while the person was there, they saw the relevance, right? So he told the person that compulsorily, right, he must also train a few people there too. And that was how they carved out a team, right? And now the organization has what we call that Power Platform, or a low code, right, team that deal with that. If you check across other places, so the same way. So was it last week or last week? Yeah, some rules came out. I remember one from Signal Alliance, Power Platform developer, right? So some rules came out recently, Power Platform developer. So years ago, this weren't the case. Years ago, what we had was just other developer or other role, software developer. Is when you enter and you start building and start showing them, oh, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Okay, that's relevant, that's relevant. Then um those who sincere, I know a lot of employers can be stingy. When they see that one person is doing everything, they will not they might not want to employ. When the person then resign, they start looking for someone that can do everything. But when they can't find, they'll start looking for how they can now start getting people to fill in those roles. But a lot of things are changing. That's my point. So the demand, maybe your question might be okay, the demand might not be very, very much available there right now, but it's growing. That's the truth. It's growing exponentially. A lot of roles have been coming up. I saw just two roles last week, two roles on Power Platform Developer just last week, right? So a lot of roles are already coming up. And if you are working somewhere, you can start building things in your organization. And if they are seeing the value, that's the truth. When organization sees the value, that's when they will, take this in. If they are seeing the value, then they will definitely would need to now make a rule, open an opportunity for Power Platform department, which if you are the one anchoring and pushing this, you might eventually end up leading the team, and you now have people coming into that team and you become a team lead, right? So this is also an opportunity for you to advance in your career as well. So you can be the person that will pioneer this in your organization. And a lot of rules, like I said, are still coming up. And also to mention, you are not limited to just that alone. You can check out my profile, Oluwatobi Yusuf, on LinkedIn. I wrote a couple of things about how you can leverage this as a skill as well to build even on or to get work on things like Upwork, Fiverr. So meaning you can freelance, right? I freelance myself, right? You can freelance. So you might be in Africa, you might be in Nigeria, or you can even be outside the country. You can leverage all of these other platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and other freelancing platforms and start freelancing as well. So if you have the skill set, just go there, optimize your profile, and shoot out your proposal. And you might just get a client, right? I've got clients from outside. I don't think I've worked for any clients in Nigeria and any of these platforms. I've got a client from Dubai, from US, and from I think Canada and Australia, right? So you can also freelance. So you're not limited. So while you're trying to also get your 9 to 5, you can also freelance on the side. Thank you.
Thank, thank, Thank you, Oluwatobi. I mean, that's another interesting intake for you, Messi. So, obviously, the opportunities are out there. It is not just a 9 to 5 thing. You can get opportunities of like freelancing, just like you said, Upwork and the likes of them. And to think that no code is a kind of like fairly new industry. Not a lot of people are doing it currently, so it is fresh cake and then national cake. Everybody wants to eat out of it. So, yeah, just to add to what he said as well, my own personal advice is like, for me, take for example, yeah, I do front end development and I do, digital marketing as well. So, the reality of things is like, you cannot actually do everything. So if you're doing what you're doing currently, like, if you're passionate about it and then you know that, okay, this thing, I really enjoy it and I just want to put my 100 into it, really, there's no really, I would not really advise you to like try to do this and do that, and at the end of the day, you find out like you're not really doing anything. Although they say like the jack of all trade is better than master of one. I think that is the full saying. But in reality, yeah, you find out like by the time you do everything and then you don't even master anything, nobody really wants to employ you. You're not the boss of anything. You're just there like wandering about. So if there's something that you do currently and then you enjoy doing it, you're passionate about it, give your 100% to that thing, and then when you actually build yourself to a level that you feel like okay, you can close your eyes and do this thing well enough. Maybe that time is a good time to start learning something new. Just so you give yourself a breather and things like that. But if you're the type of person that that okay, you can learn multiple things at the same time, and then it does not affect you in any way, why not go for it? So on that note, then I think like we've had an amazing section. It's been interesting throughout today. Initially, this webinar was supposed to last for an hour, but obviously, we've exceeded that time because the juice just keep coming on and on and on like that. So thanks a lot, Oluwatobi. It's been interesting,
Thanks, man.
having you today, and hopefully we look forward to having you again some other time, and then we can dive down deeper into this Microsoft packages, power apps, automation, marketing automation, and no code development, and all of this magic going on in the Microsoft space as well. Yeah, so thank you for joining us, and I think that will be the end of it, and yeah, we can call it a day. Yeah, so please follow Oluwatobi on LinkedIn. His full name is Oluwatobi Yusuf on LinkedIn, and then on Instagram. Can you tell them your Instagram handle, or any social platform that you think you want to share, for our audience to follow you?
Just check out Oluwatobi Yusuf on LinkedIn. You'll find me. On Instagram and on Twitter X is at Oluwatobi Yusuf underscore at Oluwatobi Yusuf underscore. So yeah, you'll find me.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. And then that's the end of the webinar. You can always come back to YouTube to rewatch this. Join us some other time. We are trying to like create more content, create more useful and impactful content like this for you. At least twice a week. Sorry, not twice a week. That's practically impossible at the moment. I'm not trying to make false promises. But we're trying to do it at least twice a month. And I think that is possible. So join us some other time. Come to our YouTube channel. If you're yet to like and subscribe, do that already. And then yeah, we're looking forward to meeting you guys again in the future. And hopefully Oluwatobi is going to join us again in the future. So yeah, thank you again, Oluwatobi, for joining us. And then we see you some other time. So from me to you
Yeah,
and
thanks
girls
for
into
having
tech,
me.
we say peace. Bye, guys.
Yeah, right. Thanks for having me.